Humans of the cardboard, good morning. Welcome back. We've got more news to push forward with huge reveals so far this week, with really strong new Tenpai Dragon support, with a brand new light spellcaster archetype that people are going absolutely crazy for. You guys really showed out for that news video. And also the big wave of Tachyon Dragon support from last night that I actually think looks quite strong as well for just like rank 8 decks in general. So here we go. We had a little sprinkle of stuff today, which includes one Infinite Forbidden card. It looks like a retrain of the old, is that Cosmo Queen? Queen of Cosmos? I can't remember her exact name. Looks like a retrain of her, as well as two of the apparently Diabolic Dragons. I think these are Ashened cards. I think these are two of the Ashened cards for Legacy of Destruction, apparently revealed on Twitter. So yeah, we'll hit these up. Let's see how we go. Alright, first off here we have Cosmo Queen, the Queen of Prayers. Cool. Level 8 Dark Spellcaster effect monster. 29 at 100 attack, 2450 for the defense. 2 hard ones per turn effects. For the first 2 effects, the first one reads, if a field spell is activated, you can special summon this card from your hand in defense position. You can target one face-up card in the field zone, then activate this effect based on its controller. Okay, so if you're targeting your own or targeting your opponent's. If you target your own field spell, destroy that target, and if you do, add a field spell with a different name from your deck to your hand. Whoa, that's pretty cool. That makes this card just like a wall, like a main deck Ancient Fairy Dragon almost, which is kind of cool. Second effect, your opponent, if you target your opponent's field spell, negate that target's effects until the end of this turn, and if you do, add one field spell from your deck to your hand. Okay, so either way, you get to just like search a field spell if either player has a field spell in rotation. That's pretty cool. This is an interesting card. I mean, listen, this card would not work unless it's a strategy that is very ingrained in a field spell, right? You look at so many decks nowadays have their own Rhoda field spell, but not every deck sets up a field spell every single time. You know what I mean? For example, I mean, like, you look at anything, like literally Kashtira, right? You go activate, Theosis, or not Theosis, Pressured Planet, then this card would summon, but the problem is you don't really have a consistent way to search Pressured Planet. It makes me think of something more like maybe Trickstar, a deck like that, where like Candina, like the field spell is a starter card and it searches all the monsters in the archetype, but Candina also searches the field spell. So any route you want could also go Candina through the field spell. So there's cool stuff. It would need to be an archetype that you feel really strong about it. I think about archetypes like FA or maybe Triamid. I know those are really bad archetypes, but like if an archetype like that were to get support, because those archetypes play, that's the other thing too. These archetypes specifically that I just listed, FA and Triamid, they specifically use multiple field spells. So you get the added bonus of you see them all the time, you see them very consistently, you activate one, this card comes out, and then you can pop the one you had, especially FA, because I believe all the FA field spells trigger to get you more advantage when they're destroyed, and then you get another FA field spell, or I guess technically you could get a generic field spell as well if you want. Interesting card, honestly. I don't think it's absolutely terrible, especially if it's like a very specific field spell oriented archetype that also maybe plays multiple field spells inherently anyway. Alright, now for the big stuff. This, I believe, is 2 new Ashened cards, I think. Let's see what they do, because I haven't read them at all. Okay, so this is Aiza, the Dragoness of Deranged Devotion. Maybe this is... Oh, that one's Vados. So maybe... I don't know. They don't have Ashened in the name, which is a little bit weird. But okay, let's see. This is a level 4 Fire Dragon effect monster. 1500 attack, 0 defense. If this card is special summoned, you can place one deranged counter on one face-up monster your opponent controls, and it cannot be used as material for a Fusion, Synchro, Exceed, or Link monster or summon while it has that counter. At the start of the damage step, if this card battles an opponent's monster with a deranged counter, you can destroy that opponent's monster, and if you do, both players take damage equal to its original attack. Also, destroy this card at the end of this battle phase. You can only use each effect of this card once per turn. Interesting. Okay, nothing crazy. Oh, it's a girl. I almost couldn't even tell because the quality of this picture is so blurry. Okay. I mean, like, she's a level 4 dragon. You know what I mean? If you can summon this off of, like, Hieratic Seal of Heavenly Spheres on the opponent's turn to target, excuse me, your opponent at, like, a key choke point and make a monster unable to be used for the summon of an extra deck monster, that could be kind of strong in some scenarios. But there's a reason why no material doesn't really see play, stuff like that. So a little, definitely not breaking anything. In fact, this makes me hope, in fact, that this isn't part of the Ashen cards, because everybody's hoping for an actual decent wave, but I'm not thinking that's going to be it, right? Especially based on the names, right? It has a name that seems Ashen-y, but it doesn't have Ashen in the name specifically, so I don't believe it's even searchable in the deck. All right, next up we have Vados. So this I think is guaranteed new Ashen support. It's a fusion monster. This is Vados, the Dragon of Endless Darkness, level 10 Dark Pyro fusion, 3,000 attack, 1,700 defense. He requires, okay, Vados, the Eruption Dragon of Extinction, of course, takes Vados plus 2 or more level 9 or lower Pyro monsters. Okay, so pretty hefty materials here, but this always comes back to the biggest question: what type of fusion card do we need to use here? If it's a fusion card that is, like, really efficient and the deck can facilitate it, and you plus enough on your way to the fusion summon that the multiple materials isn't that bad, it can work. Okay, cannot be destroyed by card effects. Also, your opponent cannot target it with monster effects. That's pretty good protection. I mean, that's just one tick below towers, basically. Can't be destroyed, can't be targeted, can still be destroyed by battle, but he's pretty big already, so that's a pretty good start for bonus effects. If this card is fusion summoned, you can destroy all spells and traps your opponent controls. Okay, also pretty decent. And then when your opponent activates a card or effect on the field, quick effect, you can send one face-up Ashen card you control to the graveyard to destroy that card. You can only use this effect once per turn. It's okay. Again, like, if we find out that this card is super, super free to make, and, like, even though it takes 3 materials, is it like 3? Does it have a fusion where we're able to send some of the materials from deck? Are we able to fuse using the Vados we give our opponent and do it consistently and easily? Right? That's what it's going to come down to, probably, in my mind. So that's the biggest thing we'll have to keep an eye out for. But overall, I'm not, like, crazy impressed, but, like, it's annoying because it can't be targeted or destroyed by card effects. Excuse me. On summon, it wipes one facet of the game, which is all spells and traps. So not a lot of matchups this is going to be insane, but there definitely could be matchups which is pretty good. And then on top of that, it is an interruption. It's a pretty weak interruption, unfortunately. This is the part where if this was just a negate, like if your opponent activates a card, send an Ashen to grave to negate it, I'd feel way better about it. This is just like a walking Ghost Ogre, and there's a reason Ghost Ogre hasn't been played in years competitively. So just okay to me. I think it's all right. Again, this could be a decent annoying card that the deck rolls into consistently. It just comes down to how easily we can summon it, how easily the deck facilitates it, and if it feels like we're not jumping through hoops just to get a mediocre boss monster. So that's what it's going to come down to. So as of now, I'm going to assume these are 2 of the 7 new Ashen cards that are still yet to come here, since we're about 2.5-ish weeks away from the actual release of Legacy of Destruction. I would assume maybe next week or the week after. It's one of those 2. We're going to actually get the creator reveals where Konami sends the set to all the creators. They'll open it up and we'll find everything that the set is still missing. So stay tuned for that. obviously. And I'll obviously keep posted on all of that and more, obviously, Infinite Forbidden stuff as well. So subscribe to the channel if you want to stay updated on all of that stuff. And let me know your thoughts on these two cards. I think this card's actually pretty interesting. Normally one-offs like this, retrains of old cards, they're like the same type of card as the card prior, but like way worse. Or not way worse, but like not good enough to actually keep up. But this card's actually interesting. It does really roll like modern, like a main deck Ancient Fairy Dragon. And this card's pretty terrible, I think, but this card's interesting, we'll say. So let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know what you think about these cards, and then subscribe to the channel for more stuff from me. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.